Good morning to you, and welcome back to today's JRPG Weekly update. Guys, I am struggling a little bit today. I don't know what happened, but I'm feeling like I am just getting sicker by the minute, so I'm just gonna try and get through today's episode. I definitely got some sinus or throat stuff going on. Anyways, let's talk about some RPG news. Starting with the indie corner here, we have Class of Heroes 3 Remaster that is now coming to PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch and PC. This is a cult classic dungeon crawling game that's making a comeback. That's great news, especially for fans of quirky anime-inspired RPGs. The remaster promises updated visuals and quality of life improvements, which should make this one more accessible to newcomers while keeping the charm of the original. One thing to keep in mind though is that Class of Heroes games are typically known for being pretty grind heavy in their gameplay, so it'll be interesting to see what, if any, adjustments are made to smooth out the overall experience. Will they add difficulty options and other modern touches? Well, I guess, is that modern? I don't know. We'll find out. It is currently slated for sometime in 2025 for PlayStation 5, Switch, and Steam. Next up, Fantasian Neo Dimension now has a demo available out on Steam from Mistwalker Studio. Standout, handcrafted diorama style of visuals and classic JRPG charm, originally released for iPad and other iOS stuff, Mac OS. Anyways, is now available on Steam and other platforms. If you've been kind of waiting on the sidelines, if you're not sure if this is a game that you're really interested in or not, the demo is now available to give you a taste of what to expect, making it a perfect chance for newcomers to see what the buzz is all about, or what I've been buzzing about, rather, or for returning players to find out what's maybe new to this version of the game. I really enjoyed my time with the original, but if you've been hesitating to buy it, well, now you can try it out first, and I really recommend that you do check it out. Moving on to Pennyblood Hellbound, well, it's out now. For fans of the Shadow Hearts series, Pennyblood has been a wild ride to watch this whole story unfold, and while the developers are apparently struggling to get their fan funding from their Kickstarter project, apparently it's tied up with their publisher or something, Hellbound is a standalone story expansion that is out now on Steam, and I suspect that this will be a much needed cash infusion for the team, especially if what they say about their publisher holds true. I don't know really what's happening over there, but one thing that I do know for sure is that if you really want to see the main game come out, this would probably be a really good idea to consider supporting the developers with this side story first. Moving on to some industry news, I have a follow-up on that whole Kadokawa situation. When last we talked about this, Kadokawa was apparently seeking some kind of purchase from Sony. There were rumors about a potential hostile takeover from some kind of Korean investment firm that had Kadokawa in a sort of uncomfortable situation. Well, it does look like that has all kind of come to a head as of right now, as Sony and Kadokawa are forming what they are calling a strategic capital business alliance, and this is probably something that could be explained by a much smarter individual than myself, but with Sony buying a significant portion of Kadokawa's shares, this should, I think, help solidify sort of a friendly shareholder base to help them shield against the possibility. This could have other ramifications, with Sony being a major distributor of anime in the West and elsewhere, but the main thing that I've been concerned with is that hostile takeover that Kadokawa was really concerned about, it appears to have been thwarted for now, I think. But, you know, smarter people than me will probably have more information to provide, or maybe Baku and I will talk about it once our hiatus is over for the year. Now, you know, when he comes back from his international trip. Moving on to some SuperDerek news, things have been a little bit quiet over here lately, but I wanted to let you guys know that things are gonna be probably a little different from now on. Things are changing for me, and I'm going to be talking about it a little bit in an upcoming video. Maybe finally another update video after 3 years since my last one. Anyways, point is, there's going to be some big changes coming, and I think some of that is honestly going to just be an effort from my half, from my side of things, to be a little more casual and open with you guys. I've been kind of teasing about this on Twitter and Blue Sky. Go follow me on Blue Sky if you haven't already. Part of what is going on for me personally is just I feel like I'm coming out of a fog, a fugue, if you will, yeah, it just feels like it's so much easier to do things now, and I'll tell you why a little later on. But suffice it to say, maybe if you guys have problems, talk to your doctor about it, and you might be surprised by what you find out. We'll talk more soon. Okay, moving on to some AAA news. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is actually coming out on PC in January, on January 23rd this year. It's just been announced. PC gamers have been eagerly awaiting for their turn, so to speak, to experience the next chapter in this reimagining of the Final Fantasy VII saga. After the success of Intergrade's PC release, expectations are pretty high for how this platform is going to handle Rebirth. Square Enix has confirmed that the game will be available on Steam and the Epic Games stores, and we can expect a full dual audio release and a smooth 60 frames per second gameplay. What's exciting, I think, is kind of imagining how PC modding community is going to be embracing this release. Maybe we'll see some custom costumes for Cloud and Sephiroth. Ooh, maybe put Sephiroth in a dress, or even entirely new story scenarios. And how about those ultra-wide monitor setups? It's, there's so many possibilities out there, and it's going to be nice to not have to pick and choose between performance mode or fidelity mode or whatever anymore, I assume. I guess maybe they'll see the same options on PC. It's shaping up to be a pretty exciting 2025 so far. Now, speaking of exciting stuff, The Witcher 4 has been officially announced for PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series, and also for PC. CD Projekt Red is returning to the world of The Witcher, but this time it seems that Geralt is stepping aside for a new lead. Based on the teaser trailer, all signs point to Ciri as the protagonist, a logical and exciting choice given her significant role in the Witcher lore and her abilities to traverse worlds. So if this is indeed Ciri's story, it could open up thrilling gameplay opportunities. All kinds of fun stuff could be on the horizon, and while we don't really have a release date yet, this announcement does set the stage for what could be a bold and fresh chapter for the franchise. And let's be real, Ciri fans have been waiting for this moment ever since their first playable segments in The Witcher 3. The potential here is pretty incredible, and I think the excitement is pretty well deserved. Especially after, well, we don't really need to talk about Cyberpunk, do we? Yeah, let's just move on. One of the things that's actually got me the most excited, a long while ago I did a video talking about my favorite non-RPGs, and I do believe that Onimusha was very high up on that list. Well, it looks like Capcom is finally listening to fans on that front, and is reviving this fan favorite franchise, and it's Onimusha. Known for its blend of samurai action and supernatural elements, being able to absorb souls and such, Onimusha holds a special place in gaming history, and this latest entry, Way of the Sword, promises to reimagine the series for a modern audience with cutting-edge visuals and dynamic combat. What's interesting here is whether Capcom is going to lead into the more action-heavy style of later entries or return to the slower, more deliberate pacing of the originals. Could we even see some Souls-like influences in the combat? I think I may have seen some, but it's really kind of hard to say for sure. Either way, it's an exciting revival of a series that's long overdue for a comeback. It's slated for PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series, and PC, but there's no real release date beyond just the 2026. Also, Breath of Fire when, Capcom? This next one's kind of a pretty awesome announcement here. It's from Hideki Kamiya, who's directing a new Okami sequel. This is the kind of announcement that sends a ripple through the gaming community. When Hideki Kamiya is back to direct a follow-up to one of Capcom's most beloved games, The original Okami is often cited as a masterpiece for its gorgeous art style and innovative gameplay, and fans have been asking for a sequel for years. The big question is, how will this sequel expand on the original's legacy? Will it stick to the same basic formula of exploration and puzzle solving, or will we see new mechanics? Can it get even more stunning on modern hardware? From the look of the teaser trailer, it looks like that's a solid yes, but is it going to look like that? I hope so. Confirmed platforms right now are PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch and PC, but we're still waiting on a release window. If Kamiya is involved, you know it's going to be something special though, so not really much else is known. Even the game title at this point is probably not Okami sequel, but when I do know more, I'll be sure to let you know more as soon as I know more. Yeah. Moving on, Sega and Ryuga Gotoku Studio have announced Project Century. That's the team behind the Yakuza series. It's venturing into a brand new territory here with Project Century. Details are pretty light, but I think the trailer looks really solid, and you're going to want to check this one out if you somehow missed it. Historic Japan, lots of fighting, looks super cool. Just a old-timey Yakuza kinda, but not that old-timey. Next up, Trails in the Sky first chapter is going to be launching worldwide in fall of 2025 for PlayStation 5, Switch, and PC, and my god, does this ever look awesome. This is some pretty massive news for Trails fans, myself included. The Sky trilogy has long been regarded as a high point in the Falcom's legendary series, and the fact that it's finally getting a worldwide release on modern platforms is a dream come true. Estelle and Joshua's story is one of love, loss, and growth, and it's a perfect entry point for anyone new to the series. And some would say it's the only starting point. Those people I disagree with, but you know, you do you. A big question here, though, is how much of the original charm will be preserved into this HD remake? And it looks like most of it is, honestly, if I'm being honest. This is apparently being published by Gung Ho Online Entertainment, which is really wild to me to find out also. I'm a little concerned or curious about this localization process and how it's going to be different maybe between Xseed or NISA. And I've got so many questions like, why? I mean, I guess Xseed and NISA are probably at capacity right now if I had to guess. But man, it would be nice to have, you know, to have all of the covers match and everything. But you know what? As long as we're getting it, really, I'm okay. It's slated for a fall of 2025 release, and this is shaping up to be an absolutely gorgeous game featuring what looks like real-time combat and, in addition to command-based combat. Just kind of like, you know, the latest title. I'll be sure to let you guys know more as soon as I know more, but that about does it for this week's JRPG Weekly update. I know it was kind of all over the place, a little short. I think it's a little bit short, but again, I've got to edit this before I completely turn into just a mess of illness. I can feel it. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned because 2025 is going to be, I think, the best year SuperDerek has had in a long, long time. I'll see you around. Have a great day, everybody.